OneWave is a non-profit surf community, and raising awareness for mental health with a simple recipe of saltwater surfing, good mates and Fluoro Fridays. Mental health has had a really big impact on me and my family's life. You know, it's something really close to my heart. My gran had severe depression. My dad had bipolar. I never understood it. He's had it for about 15 years. I suffered from anxiety and depression for years, but I just didn't do anything about it. You know, mum and dad tried to get me to go get help a few times, but I was like this happy dude, like on the outside, but on the inside I was really, you know, like freaking struggling. But I didn't want my mates to see me any differently, and I didn't want to admit that something was wrong. And it wasn't until I had a presentation at work, I had to leave the presentation, couldn't leave the bathroom, the anxiety got so bad, I finally went into the doctors and said, look, I'm actually struggling. I actually got diagnosed with perfectionism first. That helped for like a month. I got some CBT, some cognitive behavioral therapy. It basically changed the way I was thinking, and so it was right for a month. And then I was in Mexico on a work trip, and it didn't help anymore. Like I had like psychotic / manic episode. Actually told my younger brother I didn't want to live anymore, and he actually stopped me from trying to go out and walk in front of a car, and that was it. Like that was the point where I was like, either I'd go get proper help or I'm gonna die. 3 months after I was diagnosed, I had 1 week, and on a Friday night broke up with a girlfriend of 5 years. Wednesday I spent all my personal money on the surf team's bar tabs. Thursday I walked into work dressed as a Mexican tequila farmer, said I wanted to quit to start a charity called Where the Party At. Sunday, after an all-nighter in the Cross where I saw Sammy at the bar he was working at, I stole a surf club paddleboard and paddled around the semi-final of the surf contest. I felt the best I'd felt my whole life. I felt like I was finally living this dream, that I was fine. I think things were going right. I had so much energy, but 5 minutes later I was handcuffed by like 10 people. I could see my mum and dad there. I can just remember getting handcuffed by all these people and trying to fight it. And then 5 minutes later I was in hospital, and I just remember getting like an injection in the ass, put to sleep, waking up in an acute ward of like a mental health hospital. And that's when like I hit my last lie, and I just wanted to die. Like I didn't want to be there, because I was like, I felt like everything had come like from the highest high to the lowest low, and I spent 10 days in there, and it was the hardest 10 days of my whole life.
Yeah, so I met Grant because I was managing a bar, and he was representing a tequila brand. And he'd come in with, you know, a good group of people, and he'd really create some really good vibes in the bar, you know. And the thing about working in the nightclub is it really is its own sort of peer group, the same sort of people you'd see week in, week out. And if that's not a group of people that you really resonate with, it can actually start to really get to you. And so when I met Grant and realised that he was so similar to me in a lot of ways, and we both surfed, we just clicked. And I'd been running a surf school for about 3 or 4 years now, and I really found how surfing had this ability to connect people. When you go and catch a wave for the first time, obviously is what I experienced teaching people to surf, it's something that is so unique. It's such a unique experience, and it completely puts you out of your normal environment. And to share that experience with someone else connects you.
So basically you want to really treat an individual through the biopsychosocial approach, okay? And basically that looks at changing body chemistry through medication, okay? And also changing a person's sense of self, etc., and how they operate in the world and how they relate to other people, etc., and try and increase their sense of self through the different psychological therapies, which is both cognitive behavioural therapy, psychotherapy, interpersonal therapy. So there's quite obviously a range of therapeutic sort of modalities. And then there's a social component, you see, which is the most difficult part to assist people with, but that ultimately is about trying to increase an individual's level of social connection.
Yeah, you can go to doctors and like, you got to find the right recipe for you. And like some people need medication because it's like a chemical imbalance, you know. I have to take lithium every day, it's just part of bipolar. But on that alone, like I'd still be so down because my lithium makes me so flat. And I found that if I didn't have surfing, like that wouldn't be every morning. Like I feel different for the whole day. And if I didn't be open and talk about having bipolar with my mates, then I'm hiding something, you know. And when you're hiding something, like anything, it's so hard. You try and hide every day of your life. You suffer from anxiety, you suffer from depression. You're struggling to do the normal things like order a coffee or get out of bed. It's even harder. So you find people you can talk to, like for example, bipolar. When I had that, I can tell the manic story now and kind of like laugh about it. But back then it was the most embarrassing thing ever and I just wanted to hide. I think you find people who have been through a similar experience, someone who's had a manic episode with bipolar, it's like you've found a long lost brother, you know.
Fantastic way to increase levels, people's level of connectedness really, particularly obviously if they have an interest obviously in surfing or they have an interest in yoga, etc., or just, you know, like obviously just love being down the beach, you know, having obviously like-minded people and therefore they're able to identify with those people, you see, it would be absolutely fantastic for that individual and actually be a very integral I guess a very integral component to the whole sort of you know, treatment of their depression or anxiety.
And mental health has actually affected myself and my family, so I was like, I have to get involved. So I actually spoke to Grant from OneWave and started a yoga thing once a month called Sunrise Bender.
You know, using the example of OneWave, you know, people are limited obviously in terms of the access that they can get to say psychiatric treatment or psychological treatment, then obviously OneWave serves a, you know, very, very important function there of filling that gap, you see. And so, you know, some people might, you know, certainly they'll obviously be able to get access to medication, etc., but if it's difficult for them to access therapy, then, you know, certainly the social component to their treatment, you know, could actually, you know, certainly would fill any void there and keep them well for a long time.
Dress up and flow every Friday to shine a light on mental health because it's such an invisible thing that people go through and most people go through it alone in their room. And so we wear fluoro because, you know, it gets people talking about, you know, those conversations that never usually happen about mental health. It lets people know they're not alone, and it also makes people smile. You know, it's pretty hard not to smile when your buddy's wearing this ridiculous fluoro outfit. So yeah, that's what it's all about. It's just this really supportive community.
I think it's pretty cool because personally I've struggled with mental health as well. Yeah. So it's amazing to see so many people in the community getting together and actually, you know, making it an easy thing to talk about.
Grab some fluoro, grab your mates, grab whatever is your favourite wave riding craft or your flippers and your snorkel, head out there and catch your giraffe, catch some waves and have a chat. And before we start, we always share like a personal story about, firstly about what OneWave is about, what the ocean means to us, and also we share some personal stories about mental health issues with ourselves or our family, just to let people know like they're not alone and it is okay not to be okay, and, you know, hopefully inspire people that they can talk if they are going through a funk.
Good boy!
Yeah! When you dress up, it's like, hey, here's something I don't normally do, therefore I can free my behaviour, I can free how I feel.
Trying to start a conversation with OneWave, sparking that conversation to get people to open up about mental health issues, and that's just the start. We're just trying to help people get the support to go and get the support they need to get back on their feet. So that might be going to see a doctor, it might be going to see a psychiatrist. It's really like helping them find that recipe so that they can really, you know, cope with any mental health issue.
Yeah, we really want people to just take this idea and start their own Fluoro Fridays around the coast and around the world.
And dance with their surfboard.
And always dancing with the surfboard. Show everyone that at the end of the day we're all on the same path and it's to be happy. Just getting that out in public by this dress up, by, you know, surfing and connecting through it, and OneWave is all it takes. Yeah.